Yo, what is going on, you guys? Welcome back to another video on the channel. Today, we are going to be going over my branded Despia deck list that I've been tweaking with post Cyberstorm access. I asked you guys about a few days ago, 30 likes on a video, and I will show you guys the deck list. You guys absolutely destroyed it with 86 likes so far on the video. I greatly appreciate that, man. It greatly helps out the channel. So before we get any further into this video, if you guys could drop a like as well, I greatly appreciate it. Like I said, it greatly helps out the channel more than you guys know. So with that being said, let's hop right in. Actually, before we hop right in, I want to say this as well. I want to mention this. Let me know down there in the comment section below if you guys want to see me play in the Master Duel World Championship qualifier. I was playing it a little bit last night, and I was actually having a lot of fun because DB's been like lagging really, really bad. And then last night, I couldn't even hop on. Like, I tried to hop on last night, and it wouldn't even let me log in. It was giving me errors and stuff. So if you guys want to see some Master Duel content, definitely let me know down there in the comments. If you do, if you don't, like, just throw a comment down. Just let me know, whatever's up. I appreciate that. So with that being said, let's hop right into the deck constructor, bro. And this is the branded Despia deck list that I have been running, that I have been liking. We'll kind of go over card by card here, and I'll just kind of explain to you guys some choices why I'm playing certain cards. Aluber's obvious, Tragedy's obvious. Don't really have to explain those. Adlib, I'm honestly thinking about cutting. Like, it's really not that. It's a really good card, and it's a really broken card if you get it set up with red, right? It's really powerful. Obviously, double mirror jade, but I'm not gonna lie, I find myself not even going for the line where I branded fusion for Lubellion and send tragedy. Sometimes you do that, but even if sometimes you do that, like if you don't have a normal summon, like you'll most likely search Aluber off of the tragedy and then go ahead and normal summon that. Or if you like opening for Aluber, sometimes you might even grab Quem off the tragedy. So you still have that as your normal summon. So I think that Adlib could be cut. I think you could definitely, cut Adlib in a lot of hands that I brick. With this deck, it involves like hard drawing, Adlib, some of the traps, hand traps, and I just can't play, So Adlib, I do think you could cut. I am still playing it at the moment, but in my opinion, I do think you could cut the card. It is a good card, but like I said, I just don't think you absolutely need it for your end board. And like I said, a lot of the lines I go for that don't even dump tragedy and search, it is what it is. So then we got 3 Albaz. I think you need to play 3 Albaz. You need it for fusion. Yeah, you want it in the graveyard for interruption. Sometimes if you have Shroud and Cartasia in hand, and that's your only way to play, sometimes you'll just dump in Albaz and just go ahead and special summon it for free if you had already normaled or whatever. So I think 3 Albaz is definitely necessary. 2 Cartasia I think is also necessary. Um, 1 Quem, I think Quem is fine at 1. You don't want to draw too many hands where you draw like these 5 cards right here, Aluber, all the normal summons and stuff. It's just, you don't want to draw too many. Quem is very searchable. You can get it off the synchro. You can get it off of opening. There's a lot of ways to get to it. 1 Mercurier, I think 1 Mercurier is fine. A lot of the hands that I have bricked in the past. Like I was playing 2 Mercurier in the past with the Allure of Darkness and stuff, but again, Mercurier does contribute to bricky hands. It's a really good card to search off a Lost, when you have that set up. If you're trying to gimmick puppet lock, or if you don't want to lose to Nibiru, you don't want to lose to a Bestial, Mercurier is just really, really good for that. I think it's a really good one of searchable card. And sometimes if you hard draw Bestials or whatever in the side, whatever, you can go branded fusion, dump this, banish it, get a search, Cartasia, keep playing. So I think the 1 Mercurier is fine. Same with Spriggan's kit. Sometimes you need to search a starter. If you have Lost in Cartasia or whatever, you can search this and get access to fusion. Albion, I think, is perfect at 1. Such a great card. Bestial Lubellions, I've seen some people cutting this, but I think you still need one of it in the main, and same with Sorinir. Yeah, there's just a lot of lines with Blazing Cartasia that, you can just search Branded Fusion because you have Sorinir in deck, so it just makes it worth it. Gimmick Puppet in the main, of course. Sometimes I don't even side this out going second. Like, sometimes I'll just try to crack the board and then give them a Puppet and just auto win right there, so sometimes I even leave this in going second, but it is a brick. 3 opening got a lot better with Guiding Quem, so you play 3. Obviously, it's a starter. 3 fusion, no need to explain. 1 Lost. I do side this out going second. With super heavy and stuff, it's just like, it's just not going to resolve. It's not going to matter. Branded and White, I actually really, really like Branded and White, especially with siding all these Bestials. Brandon and White just goes crazy, bro. There's so many times where I Brandon and White just for Chimera, and it's a blowout, bro. Like I was playing against Vanadium, and I went like normal summon Valor. My hand was like Bestial, Lubellion, Soranir, Droll, Brandon and White, and another card or something. And I go normal summon Droll, activate Brandon and White. He has Appaloosa and Floor. I activate Brandon and White. I'm like, he's not gonna negate this. There's no way he negates this. So I go Brandon and White with normal summon uh Droll on the field. And then I synchro for Chimera, or I fusion for Chimera, Chimera 1, Soranir 2, chain block it from both of his negates. He just negates with the Apple on the Soranir, which is fine. I draw 2 cards, I pop his floor, battle phase attack over his GG. So Brandon and White is really, really good for just making a Chimera and just out of nowhere. It's like, whoa, you just made a Chimera out of nowhere. That's kind of crazy. Brandon and Red at 1. Still think you need this at 1. It's pretty good. 3 fusion deployment. I still think this is also really, really good. Getting access to this, which just gets you access to this, which gets you access to this, which gets you access to this, which gets you access to this. And yeah, it just makes your whole deck work. So fusion deployment's crazy. And then 1 foolish, 3 cross out. I think cross out is pretty good. Like drawing cross out with Brandon Fusion does feel really nice. It's tough going second, but going first, if you draw this with a way to fusion, you just can't lose. So cross out, I think it feels really nice drawing it, but I'm not sure if it's needed. There is still a good amount of ash going around, so we're just running it for now. Like I said, if you guys have any ideas to improve this deck list, anything you guys to change, let me know in the comments. 1 expulsion, of course, 1 retribution, some breaks, and then we got hand traps. So Droll, I think, is the best hand trap right now besides Gamma. But Droll is really good, obviously, against Super Heavy. I had a pretty tough time against Super Heavy, so Droll's good against Super Heavy. He's good against Kashtiras, can be pretty decent. So Droll overall, just a really, really good card. Then we got 2 Ash Blossom for the crossout, of course. And then we have 3 Gamma, 1 Driver. And I think Gamma is also like up there with Droll for best hand trap. Like it's just so good. And you need hand traps going second in this format, or else you will just lose. It's not possible to beat Super Heavy if they go uninterrupted. It's just not happening. So you need to draw a hand trap, and you need to draw a way to play. So 3 Gamma, and Gamma's also good against like Kashtira as well. Obviously, that doesn't need to be said. That's like standard. People were playing Gamma before Super Heavy came out, but Gamma on the Link 1 is really good after they discard. It's really good. Gamma on Arise Heart, Gamma on Unicorn when they start. All just really good. Like Gamma's just a really, really, really good card. It's not the best in this deck because you can't like synchro it if you use it turn 1, or like link it away as a link 2 body. So it's like not the best in this deck, but you just need hand traps going second, so you just play the best ones. Um and yeah, so that's it for the main deck. Side deck, I got this heavy bestial count. This is kind of something I talked about in my video that I made where you guys got the 86 likes for the deck profile. So we got 3 Magma, 1 Druis, 1 Lubellion, 1 Branded Beast. And this is because after I would hand trap Super Heavy, I would still just lose to what you call it, bro. I would still just lose to Baguska. And I had Dark Ruler in the side, but everybody was just on the spell canceller, and it's just like, not that good at all. I can't even activate it. So no more Dark Ruler, and even against like Kashtira, it's like decent against Kashtira, but if they lock 5, which they are going for, they just lock your back row and it's unusable as well. So yeah, I cut the Dark Ruler for this package right here. Any Bestial can get over Spell Canceller, just attack over it. The Bestials really help get over the Spell Canceller. Also the Baguska, if you have Lubellion in hand, it just outs Baguska on its own. Because you just go Lubellion, search for Druis Worm, banish Gamma out of their graveyard or anything that they have. Hopefully they have something. Or if you have like Fusion, you could Fusion for this and this, summon out this, send this to graveyard, summon out Lubellion, end phase, set Branded Beast. Then on the next turn you could pop, but then it might be too late. You don't want to do it. You don't want to wait. You don't want to give them another turn while you're outing their Baguska, because they could probably just play So you want to draw Lubellion, and you want to pray that there's a light or dark in the grave. If you have to go opening or if you have to go fusion, you got to do what you got to do to out the Baguska. But Lubellion in hand will do it for you. So because you need it to tribute off. So Druid Worm, I think it's pretty solid. Or the Bestial package, I think it's really solid because I have been struggling against super heavy, and they're just big bodies. Really good against Math Mech as well, and also really good. And also really good in the mirror match as well. So I've been really enjoying the Bestial package that I have put in the side deck. So I think it's pretty good. And then 3 of the Nibiru, the primal beings. Also, these just help, like, if you get shifted or if you get debarriered, at least you could set up like 1 interruption or a few interruptions with Beast plus Druid Worm. If you could set that up, that's a pop and ascend a special summon monster. So it's not the worst. Like, you get 2 interruptions off of that. If you're under shifter, if you're under D-barrier, you can still put up some interruptions and potentially go for a game because 2 Bestials is 5k attack plus a Brandon Fusion. That's GG. So it's just big bodies, ways to push for your game. 3 Nib. I think Nib is good against Kashtira if they play into it. If they don't play into it and if they arise past, you can probably just beat that with this engine, no problem. It's decent against super heavy because if they don't play the Stardust, you can wipe their board. It's tough for them to recover from that. They can recover from that and they can push through. But if you go Nib and you put the token where the Cleafort Genius will point to in the middle zone, it stops them from, getting the Cleafort Genius search. So that's pretty decent. It's not crazy, but it helps. And then they make like a weaker board. And if they make a weaker board with no floodgates on it, then it's beatable. So that's why we play the Nib. And also, like I said, Kashtira, pretty decent against that. And Rogue decks kind of just claps. Can clap branded a little bit if they don't play around it or play with it in mind. Nib doesn't really hurt me too much when I'm playing branded, but sometimes it could be like, damn. 3 Curry Kara, 3 Curry Kara. And this, like I said, is for cash. Cash is still the best deck, so you got to respect it. You got to put some respect on it. And then Cosmic Cyclone. I just really like Cosmic Cyclone. I know Runic hasn't been in the format, but I still have nightmares about Runic and just Floodgate decks in general. Labyrinth is kind of getting a little bit more popular again as well, so you kind of got to have to put some respect on Labyrinth. And like every game going, if you win game 1 against almost any deck, they're gonna side deck some type of Floodgate against this deck. Either the Super Ancient Organism, Skill Drain. It's gonna be one of those Floodgates. Rivalry I got hit with yesterday, so it's just a bunch of stuff. And then the extra deck is pretty standard. 2, 2, and 2. I played 2 Grangoyle because I think you need to. Sometimes you can't Gimmick Puppet on, like, you don't. Sometimes you don't want to send Gimmick Puppet with the Guignol. Sometimes you want to go ahead and like Guignol, dump this to get access to Quem, and then on the opponent's turn you can revive back the Cartasia, make another Guignol, dump the puppet, and then lock them. So you can like do some crazy stuff with double Guignol. So I think you need it. It just dumps any level 6 or higher light or dark monster from your deck or extra deck to the graveyard. So the card is just busted. Like, the card's just crazy. Could send Adlib, which I hardly ever do, but it is a play that you can do. Yeah, so I like double. And then Albion Sanctifier Dragon is pretty good. One of that. 1 Rinbrum. 1 Sprint the Iron Dash. A lot of people aren't playing Contact C anymore, but I still like this card because it can summon out an Albaz during the end phase, which can come up. It can be pretty good. I think I summoned an Albaz in the end phase, like on what was it? The big Borland guy that can't be targeted or whatever. He already uses Negate, just fusion with that. And it adds a Spriggan's monster, so you can search for follow-up with it. Also, its effects comes up. I almost had this crazy-ass play where Mans went like, I was playing against Cash, and he had like Mind Hacker in one zone, and he also had his Birth in another zone, and that's a really tough out for this deck specifically. Like, it's tough to out the Birth. That's another reason why I like the Bestial package, because if after you break their board, you can't leave them with the Birth, because then they'll just full combo you, and they'll have like a disruption for your graveyard, which is just, Birth is broken. We know this. So outing the Birth is really important. So that's another reason I like the Bestial package. But the Sprint, the Iron Dash, he had like Shangri-La, summoned out Fenrir. I almost had this crazy play where I go like I normal summoned or I fusion deployment out the Albaz. I was gonna take away his Fenrir because it was special summon this turn, make the Iron Dash, move it into the column with the Mind Hacker and the Birth, pop the Mind Hacker and the Birth while taking away his Fenrir, and that would have been absolutely crazy. But he had Imperm set too, so I got Impermed on that, and I pretty much lost that game. I think I lost that game. So yeah, there's some cool plays you can do with Iron Dash to out back row, which I really like. So there's that. And then one Coritis, I think you also just gotta keep this card in. Like, you need this card. It's really good to get over stuff for game is very important. Also, summoning this off of Guignol sometimes is very important. Just having this thread up there, it's like, okay, you can't go to battle, and if you out this, besides banish face down or return to extra deck, it's going to summon an Albaz and give me another 2 interruptions off of that. Like, take your monster and then Mirror Jade banish, so it's pretty good. One Guardian Chimera, like I said, making this is really easy with the branded and white, so I like that, and red, of course. Even though nowadays I find myself like Quem, dumping Albaz, set red, hold, falling of Albaz. If I did get ashed on my stuff or something, then you like Albaz, banish, summon, and then you can make a Mirror Jade with that, and then you just have Chimera for the follow-up turn if you want. Like, you don't always Chimera anymore. Like, I hardly ever Chimera anymore on my like setup turn 1. And then one Dragosapelia. I think Dragosapelia, I had this cut for a sec, but I kind of think you need it because if you get shifted, you got to put something up, especially against Kashtira. You got to put up some type of interruption. That's where I like the Bestial Engine. And then you have the Dragosapelia that you can make. Negate one of their cards, turn it to a level 1 so they can't exceed with it or anything like that. I think that's pretty solid. So I think you need this for when you get shifted. You got to be able to put up some type of interruption, or else you kind of shifter kind of really hurts unless you have Dragosapelia. Also, Dragosapelia is pretty good in the mirror match as well. Then we got the one Lulu. Don't really need to explain that. But yeah, man, let me know if you guys have anything you would change about this deck. Any adjustments I could make. Let me know down there in the comment section below. And that's going to do it for this one. I'm out. Peace.